Hello, guys, and welcome back to Basketball Report. It's been a while, but finally we're back and we're better than ever.
Yeah, back. It's a new season, which means we are going to cover each and every team's prediction for the season going in.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, hit that like, hit that follow, all that stuff to stay up to date with all the teams' preview. So today we thought we're going to do a nice big team for starters, and it will definitely be the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, so basically we're just going to quickly look at the team, talk about what they're going to do this season or what we expect them to do, and also just look at their salary cap just for,
Let's just see what options
they have. Yeah. And that will be for every team. And we're also gonna say, do we think they're going to compete or what?
Just where are they title contenders, pretenders? Where do we fit them in the, I would say, NBA hierarchy for the season?
Yeah.
So you basically what to expect from the team. But without further ado, let's get into it. So we're gonna have to start off with salary cap.
So we know. Oh yeah, as you guys know, there's a lot of big names on this team. They removed DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah. He's going. Bought out, basically traded him to the Pistons, then Wyatt went to the Lakers. So I do think that's a good thing because now they get that cap off of their roster, and they need to because the salary cap at this stage is about, I think it's 177 million.
Yeah, it's 172 million.
Yeah, so that's quite a substantial.
Quite a lot.
And obviously James Harden still on contract for this season. He has an extension coming up. Kevin Durant did sign an extension, and then Kyrie Irving also on contract for this season. So basically, they have their main three core. I don't think they swap too much with those big three guys. We know what to expect from those guys. One thing I should mention is the lack of games. So last season, I think all of them combined, played in total about 110 games. So that's all three of them. I know it's a shorter season, only 70 games last season, but still more of them, all of them basically didn't even play half of the season. So that is something to take into consideration in the season. What do you think going forward? Should they resign? Do you think they're going to move away? After this season,
So looking at the salary cap and all this stuff, you're gonna put it on the screen. KD has signed till 2025.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to stay on the roster till
but we don't know. But so it's quite difficult to say what they must do. I don't know. James Harden, all these guys are already coming of age, and I don't know. I think they just want to win a ring.
I think they all need it for their legacy, to be honest. James Harden hasn't won anything. He's been, renounced as a choker. Kevin Durant, he won his rings, but they basically mean nothing. Kyrie did get the ring on the Cleveland side, but I think he would want to be the main guy on the roster to win a ring. So I think it would all depend on this season. And by looking at last season, looking at all the injuries, obviously, as well as looking at the coaching, Steve Nash, I do like Steve Nash, but obviously he's still new in the coaching aspect of basketball. So we've got an unexperienced coach, a roster which is very difficult to work with, and also a team that's very fragile, also including Blake Griffin. So you can basically just count on Joe Harris to be there for the full season.
Yeah, and Joe Harris,
I like Joe Harris.
But he has been struggling a bit last season.
He hasn't been as good as we know. I'm still one of the best 3-point shooters in the league, and obviously he does what he needs to do. He gets the ball, he puts it in the back of the net. That's Joe Harris, out and out. But at the end of the day, look, they're gonna need more than they have. And I'm not saying more in sense of obviously they've got one of the best rosters maybe ever. But in terms of age, injuries, and just the general circumstance of the attitude,
egos. Egos are quite a big thing.
Big problem. Massive problem.
And also remember they have LaMarcus Aldridge has come back from his heart problem or whatever, and they signed him. I don't know. They looking at what the rosters are. It's saying he's starting. I don't know if they want to start him.
I think ideally you would want Blake as a 5 to stretch, but then again, LaMarcus Aldridge not too bad from 3. So you can play him as a stretch as well. They need to move on from the Andre Jordan. He was clogging the paint.
Yeah.
But
And also,
what about defense?
Yeah, defense. I was just gonna say, looking at the what they're going to play against in the East, especially, we have quite a lot of good centers in the East, and
especially at the top,
at the top,
Giannis.
Yeah, Giannis. And the problem is, like what I liked last year is when they put Blake on Giannis. That seemed to work. The players, they seem to work. But the thing is, then you leave open Brook Lopez, and I don't think LaMarcus Aldridge has the defense in him to stop.
The other thing as well is Blake only played 26 games last season.
Yeah, but we all know his knees are like like
it's porcelain.
Porcelain, yeah. He can not jump anymore and all that stuff. But yeah, also I don't know. It's quite difficult.
I would say they did make a good move in acquiring Patty Mills. I think that was a good move because they can just slot him in. I mean, let's say Kyrie or James Harden picks up an injury, so you can still play Patty Mills wherever. You can maybe move Joe Harris to shooting guard and still play Aldridge, Blake Griffin, and Kevin Durant. Obviously, with the individual talent they have on the rest, are going to be good. But I do think we're going to miss Spencer Dinwiddie more than they would expect to miss him. And look, Patty age also coming of age. Patty Mills he's not the youngest player there. I think he's like 33 or 34.
Nowadays. Yeah.
So I mean, looking at the roster, basically your first best like 7 players are all pushing 30, already over 30. Even Joe Harris, is a guy who's 30 years of age.
Yeah.
So this is not a long-term team.
Yeah, no, definitely.
This make or break. To be honest.
So we said it. Or whatever. Last season, we said it, and I think it's going to come to the same point that yes, this team is crazy. Looking at individual performance and all this stuff, they should be doing well. I think they're still going to be top 3 in the East, but injuries is quite a big problem for them, and also the egos, with KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. We're talking about big egos here, and I don't think also Blake Griffin.
No, Blake as well. But I would say Blake, he did take the pay cut. He knows his role and he doesn't mind coming off the bench. Yeah. So I mean, kudos to a player like Blake. Obviously, I had to adjust to get into the NBA, but we said it last season. We said, look, this team, yes, it's a good team on paper, but I mean, this is not paper. This is real game time situations. And last season, they had a decent season. They were a good team, and I mean, they lost against the Bucks, which is no shame because the Bucks did end up winning. Yeah. But if you look at the roster, the expectation for them is to win. The expectation for them is to be in the final, and I don't think it's gonna happen. I would say yes, they are contenders. I don't think they're any type of pretending to be champions because too much individual brilliance, but just looking at everything as a whole, the age, the injuries, the attitude, the coaching, and the whole general mindset.
Stuff. Yeah, I think they're going to gain in the semis. They're going to fall out, and the NBA is pushing the narrative for them to go to the finals, but pushing a narrative and real life game time and all that stuff, it differs quite a lot.
Yeah, it's not really going to work out. So before we get into, I think we can discuss a little bit what's the moves they can make to ensure that maybe they will win a title. And for that, I would just say you've got your 3 players. You got Kyrie, you got KD, you James Harden, and I think trading for one of them for role players would be the best move possible for the team. Obviously, they still got a high value, so the attitude stuff will come. But I do believe at this stage, trading one of them
before they get too old. But that will, I think, we're gonna see another 2 seasons of this Nets team, and maybe just a change in Aldridge and maybe Blake Griffin. But we're looking forward to see what the Nets do this season.
Yeah, good team. Top 3 in the East.
Top 3 in the East.
Difficult playoff team, but
let us know what you guys also think in the comments and all that stuff. And I don't know actually what to say anymore.
mean, I think that's the end of the video.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, thanks for watching. Do appreciate it, and
yeah, eat that jumper
eat
as
that
always.
jumper.